And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at Legendary Deadpool. Now, Upper Deck, Marvel Legendary, very expandable game. It's a deck building cooperative game, and they come out with many expansions, both big and small. This is obviously a smaller expansion, and it's based on Deadpool because 2016, which is when this game was released, was the year of Deadpool, from movies to pretty much him showing up everywhere. Now, Deadpool is a character who knows that he is in a comic book, right? He breaks the fourth wall. And in fact, the rules for this game show that. At the very top of the rules, it shows Alpha Flight, which is crossed off, and there's Deadpool, which is actually disappointing because I would really have liked a Alpha Flight expansion for Legendary. But you can see that all the rules are written by Deadpool talking to you rather than there actually being rules, which honestly is a little annoying at times because when you're looking for something, looking through text for it is not, or like balloon bubbles, is not the same as just looking through a set of rules. So this is going to be a set that skews towards the silly side, as you'll see. So first, the expansion obviously comes with Deadpool in it. And you can see right away how the expansion is going to be here. Because this Deadpool card says if it's between 8 p.m. and midnight, you get +2 attack. Otherwise, you get +2 money. Or here it says screw it, you just get both if you have another one of those cards. Here, if there's a wound in your hand, this one's more normal, except at the bottom he talks about how it's so annoying to get wounded. This one here, you get +1/2. Yes, this is 3.5. Attack, +1/2 for each other card with flavor text that you played this turn. And then this one here, which looks like Deadpool wrote the card, comes with excessive violence on it. Now, excessive violence means if you kill an enemy with more than you need to kill, then all your excessive violence abilities go off. So, for example, take another turn after this one, but don't use this ability more than once per game. Trilogies are stupid. Fine. Now, Deadpool's not the only character in this deck. We also have my favorite Deadpool character, which is Bob, Agent of Hydra. So here he's 1.5 and 2.5. Here you look at the top card of someone's deck, ask them a yes or no question. If they're correct, they get the card. If they're incorrect, you get to draw a card. This is pretty much a regular excessive violence card where you can KO up to 2 different heroes from your discard pile and draw a card for each hero that you KO this way. It's not the easiest card to use, but well, whatever. Then we have Slapstick, who's like a cartoon come to life. He also has 2.5 attack here, and he can rescue a bystander if he uses excessive violence. Not really sure about that, but here we have the Napoleon Complex. If any other player is taller than you, draw a card. If anyone's shorter than you, you get +1 money. If both, get both. I only ever get the one of them, so it is what it is. Anyway, here when you draw a new hand of cards, you did it this turn, draw an extra card. And again, it's 4.5. And here, this one is like a very normal one. Recruit a hero from the headquarters for free, then you can shuffle your discard pile in your deck. This one here I think is very handy and useful, actually. Then we have Solo, who's 1.5 and 1.5. And here, 2.5 on this one. And on this one, does the top card of your deck have a gun in the art? If so, draw that gun, which will likely probably at some point have you arguing over whether something is a gun or not. This one's actually very useful, his big one, where you can cut someone's attack in half on a turn. Then we have Stingray, who also has 1.5 and can have extra attack used in different areas. Here's another 1.5, drawing a card. Here's Excessive Violence, where you can KO one of your cards or a card from your discard pile. It's pretty handy, actually. And then Stingray here, you can KO a card from your hand discard pile, and you get a half attack for each hero in the KO pile, which, depending on the scenario, can be pretty handy. So those are the heroes that come with this set. There's also villains, and the villains are just as ridiculous. For example, this one here is you simply have to discard a 2, but it doesn't feel like saying that. It tells you that you need to drop a deuce. And if this villain escapes, then everyone drops a deuce, which again is discarding a 2, in case you think I'm being crass. And we have Taskmaster and Weasel. Now, Weasel has revenge for Deadpool's friends. He's a villain of Deadpool's friends, and that means for each Deadpool friend in your KO pile, he has more attack on him. And so we have Deadpool, the Deadpool Kid, Ultimate Deadpool, and Wolverine Pool. Yes, it's very, very exciting. The bad guys, the masterminds, first we have Evil Deadpool, which is actually pretty powerful. When his Master Strike shows up, everyone has to discard a card, and whoever discards the lowest takes a wound. But interestingly enough, this card in particular, when you fight this one, if it's not the final tactic, you get 6 points to spend, and then you shuffle it back in. So he can keep coming back over and over again. That's fortunately the only one that's in there, but it could mean you have to fight him more than 4 times. And then Macho Gomez here, he basically has bounty on your head. Everyone gets a wound for each bounty on their head, and then his cards are all deal with that bounty on your head type thing. There's also Deadpool Killing the Marvel Universe, which actually is a pretty interesting comic. We have Deadpool Wants a Chimichanga, which is not interesting at all. We have Deadpool Writes a Scheme, which is all about comedy, and eventually Deadpool wins. And everyone hates Deadpool because, oh yes, they do. And that's pretty much the stuff that's included in this set. Now I'm all for humor, and I like the comic book version of Deadpool to a point. Deadpool is one of those comics where I read it, and I chuckle at it and maybe enjoy it, and after reading it a couple times, I'm like, all right, let's go read something where things make sense. Because Deadpool, they have to keep doing silly stuff over the top, and occasionally Deadpool is in a more serious comic where he's still the merc with the mouth, and he's making his wisecracks, but other things are going on, and I actually like those comics better, as Deadpool works better as a supporting character rather than the main character. The Deadpool cards here are very similar to Unglued for Magic the Gathering, where they're silly cards. They made them so they work, right? It's not like these cards are broken or bad. Unglued had some of that in it. But they're all that silliness. There's half attack, and a half attack doesn't really do anything, but 2 halves make a whole, and silly things that, people are taller than you. And this humor that's on these cards is very similar to that of Munchkin humor, right? Where it's, oh, that's hilarious the first time, funny the second time, it's pretty old the third time. And for that reason, this is one of those sets that I enjoyed looking over the cards, enjoy playing, but I'm not going to be adding it to my Legendary collection. I have piles and piles of Legendary cards, and as much as I like Deadpool, I think I already have a Deadpool character in my set anyway. And so this new Deadpool and his friends and stuff, that kind of breaks the flow of the game. I'm like, oh, superpowers, and oh yeah, this guy's talking about, is it between 8 and 12 at midnight? So I like some of the stuff in here, but this is kind of a Deadpool fan service expansion, and if you're not a fan of that whole guy like who's just always there winking at the camera, you're probably not going to be a huge fan of this one either. Unless, of course, you're a completionist and need to own everything, in which case you have a problem and should seek help, and you're only watching this review to validate you getting this expansion. So this is not a bad expansion. It's fun. I enjoyed it. But in the long scheme of things, I think it's a forgettable one. It was more, I think, to cash in on how popular Deadpool is right now. Hopefully they will do an Alpha Flight expansion someday. Don't hurt me, Deadpool, because it's true. Dice Tower Judgment, it's okay. Funny, at least a couple times.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!